Does 1
You're
plus
asking
1
me
equal
another
2?
question.
Does
I
1
think
plus
it
1
equals
equal 2?
one. No, one and one come together, they merge. That's one, right? Think about it,
Okay,
right?
god dang.
When
So
one and one
chat
come together,
proves
they
my
merge,
point.
right?
Then nigga don't know what
Right.
1
One
plus
and
1
one
equals.
merge, right?
He said that
One
1
and
and 1
one, put it
merges.
together, they merge. One, right?
You got a watch in your left hand. If you
Right.
put another watch on your left hand, will you have 1 watches or 2 watch?
They're on the same hand. It's just one watch. If they put together, if you leap, they merge together. It's all about women oppression and for women not to realize that they are the true creators. That's why the patriarch took over.
That the
Can you
man is
shut
just
the
stronger
fuck
than a
up,
woman?
nigga?
Do you
God
ever just
damn,
think
bro.
that the man is
On
just
some
stronger than a
shit.
woman
This
and
nigga
more
on some
superior than a
man.
woman?
You's a bitch, nigga. On my
Did you ever
mama,
think
you
that?
a
Say that
wrong
to
with
my
you, bro.
face, man. You
I
welcome
said
here. I
you's a
have
bitch.
more. All right, man. So you said that basically when we peel back all the layers, the black woman is God.
Correct.
I'm just repeating back what you said to let you know that I understood exactly what you said. You said, as you know, before we've adopted the thinking and ideologies of God, how we know it now, before that, or even if we take it away, we would see that the black woman is actually truly God. That's what you
Correct.
said, right? Okay.
Correct.
If somebody could say the black woman is God, then you have to find something different from black women to other women. And I mean more than just how they carry themselves and personalities. And if you can't differentiate black women to Asian women or white women, then you can't say one specifically is God. So I know his brain got some type of poison in somehow, some way.
Now, where does the father, my question for you is, where does the man come in? Where does the father or the man come into this picture? The black man or any man?
Now, in regards to the father is a social construct that has nothing to do with nature. So somebody made up this whole father aspect. Man is something totally different. You grow into the man, but we go through stages in life to get to a man. So in regards to me, I had to go from an embryo, you know what I'm saying, to an infant, to a toddler, teenager, young adult, and then I graduated into a man. So when we're talking about those two terms, you know, you got to go to get to a man. And then when you're talking about a father, there's nowhere that there's a father in nature. So a father would be unnatural. That's just something to compete with the woman.
I wish men can go down to the child support court with this logic and tell them that it's a social construct. There's no such thing as a father. This is when male feminism go way too far. Your brain is extremely poisoned.
Okay, so you're saying that the father is unnatural, but the woman is natural.
Correct.
Do I have that correct? What's your reasoning that the father is unnatural? Explain, give me some logic, however you could,
Right.
you know,
The logic
put it
was
together.
the logic was nature. I said that there was not a father found in nature. There's nowhere in nature that you can find a father. You have a
Okay,
male.
well,
So at the end of the day, there's no father. Father is a social construct. That's something to put itself into existence to be opposite of the mother. But there's no such thing really as a father.
Friendly fire!
can you explain how the father is a social construct?
It's a social construct due to the fact is you're talking about a label that's being placed on a man being a father. Can you be a father at 12 years old?
I mean, I think I had when I was 12 years old, man. So
Okay, so you have not.
you could be a father when you're 12 years old. You could have definitely planted your seed in something. Yes. Let's just go with, do you think there's any differences between men and women?
It's kind of like you're trying to be condescending to the point where you have no comprehension. Like, you don't have no comprehension in what I'm saying to you in a response to the point where you can't fathom it. What do you mean?
No.
I don't understand what you. Then you go to the next question after you sit there and tell me that you didn't understand shit. Like come on,
not
bro. Like we gonna
understand.
turn this into. Is this some
Not
type of
understand.
entertainment or something? I'm just asking you. I thought it was about the black woman as God. I don't know you.
This is how we know he's a male feminist, because when logic start coming in, that's when people start to get pissed off, because now you're gonna have to say something that go directly against everything you just said.
You said, well, that, because the father is, not from nature. And I want you to explain, how isn't the father not from nature? That's what I want you to do. I want you to explain how it's a social construct and it's not from nature. Because here's what I'll tell you. Nothing grows unless a seed is planted. And every man holds the seed in them. And the life form starts there. You won't have a plant if you don't plant a seed first. So you saying that a father is a social construct is a lie, is what I'm saying. Get to dispute the point that the father doesn't hold the seed. Let me hear you.
You haven't given me a chance to make sense. You're wrong. And you're wrong in the way to sit there and say that the sperm is a seed. How could you have seeds running up and through your body? That makes no sense. A seed is not a tadpole with a tail. That's not a seed. So in regards to it, you're wrong. Now, if you're talking about an apple seed or
Explain
orange
how I'm
seed,
wrong, though.
listen, an avocado seed or whatever the case may be, now we can get into the comparison on how the woman gives the man the whole body, the construct, the brain, the lungs, the face, the skin. She's creating a child within a womb. So she gives him the penis too. Did you forget that she gave him the
Incorrect.
sperm? So
Can
in
you
regards
explain
to
in
it,
a scientific way, from a biological way, how doesn't a man hold the seed in the life form? You're just speaking, but I need you to peel back the layer to things and give facts. So here's a fact for you. The woman doesn't determine the sex of the baby. She has an X chromosome. The man holds the X and the Y chromosome, right? So here's science, right? So when a man has sex with a woman, he dictates the sex of the baby. So you just said, where do you get a penis from? Where do you get this from? Where do you get that from? You get that from the man, since the man determines the sex of the baby. Do you get it? Your father dictated that you would have a beard and be a man, from what I could see. You get what I'm saying? Your mother didn't determine that.
you sound uneducated, like to the point where this is so level of surface to the point.
God dang,
How
man.
could you?
Okay,
How could you
educate
sit
me.
here? I'm just asking you, like, how could you
Educate
sit
me.
here and tell me
I'm
that
fine.
my father gave me what all males are females before they turn into a male based off the decision of the mother. Every male can look at their actual scrotum sac and see a line from the bottom of their scrotum sac to the tip of their penis. All male. That means you were sold up. Your testicles are nothing but your ovaries. Your penis is nothing but an elongated clitoris. At the end of the day, you're nothing but an inside-out female. I'm sorry that this man has never been told that, and he doesn't understand that he was made in the likeness and the image of his mother. I'm sorry that before anybody ever taught him anything, his mother was there. Your mother is literally the only thing that you know in life. You don't even know if that's your father, but your mother knows if it's your father or not. You know everything about your mother because that's where you came from.
That's not true. Think about kids that are adopted and how they feel when they find out that their parents are not actually their parents. They had no clue until the news came to them. So you don't know. You just have a good idea because that's the person that raised you and was always there. And it just so happens that mothers are there more than fathers. And that's for many different reasons. But the main reason is because the mother is there to nurture the child and the father is there to protect and provide. So even back then, let's say it was no deadbeat fathers, men still had to go to war, men still had to go to work all day, and men still had to provide for their family. So therefore, in the household, seeing the child, he's not going to see the child as much as the mother. And in other scenarios where you do have deadbeat fathers or women that isolate their kids from their father, then of course you're going to know your mother more than you know your father. But that does not mean he's a social construct. The baby in totality is dictated by the parents. The argument that they have is like one can happen without the other, and that's not true. But the No Fugazee podcast is basically saying that yes, the mother plays her part, but the father plays this part. So he's not saying one thing happens without the other. He's saying this party does this part and this party does the other part. This brain poison male feminist is trying to say that the father is not even needed really. The mother does everything, as if she can have a baby by herself. This would be the best argument in child support court.
The black woman has always been considered God, even before the patriarch took over and started to actually make a male God. But it was never a male that was being God. It was always the woman, even to the point where if a woman is making up your whole total makeup and she's using her menstrual blood to do it within her womb, that's why you women don't bleed for 9 months.
Well, if the seed doesn't get planted in a woman, she will still bleed. The seed has to be planted to shut her body off to say, all right, no more menstruation. You have to prepare for this baby because the man fertilized this egg. That's what he has to do with it.
So the baby literally develops through life. As the baby develops through life, we get to puberty. That's when our body chemically starts to actually make the sperm in our body. But it came from our mother. Everything comes from your mother. You get it from your mother. Your mother is your God. Your father is not your God. The sperm in his body comes from his mother. Where do you think we got our body from? You didn't make this. You don't have nothing to do with your face. You don't have nothing to do with your head and none of that. Your mama gave that to you. She birthed you.
A man can produce more life than a woman. A woman can only give birth once a year, and if she's real busy, maximum twice. However, a man can plant his seed everywhere. He can get 3 women pregnant in one day.
A man cannot sustain life. He does not have breast milk.
Got you. You done, or are you still going?
No, go ahead, man.
So, I mean, everything you said was just nonsense. It didn't make any sense. It didn't correlate to anything.
Which part?
And
Which
1
part?
plus
Which
1
part?
didn't add up.
Oh,
You
no.
didn't have any rebuttal to it. You just started speaking nonsense. But let me ask you a question.
I have to force myself to speak because you won't allow me to.
Does 1
You're
plus
asking
1
me
equal
another
2?
question.
Does
I
1
think
plus
it
1 equal
equals
2?
one. No, one and one come together, they merge. That's 1, right? Think about
Okay.
it, right?
God dang.
When
so
1 and 1
Chad
come together,
proves
they
my
merge,
point.
right?
The nigga don't
Right.
know what 1 plus
and
1 equals.
merge, right?
He said that 1
and 1
merges.
put it together, they merge. 1, right? If I
Oh,
come
God
together with a
dang.
woman, don't I go into that woman? Don't me and
All
that
right.
woman go into each other? Now we one. I got my dick, I am one. At the end of the day, what you
So you
mean
got a
one plus
watch
one
on your
equals
left
two?
hand. You got a watch on your left hand. If you
Right.
put another watch on your left hand, will you have one watches or two watch?
They're on the same hand. It's just one watch if they put together. If you leave, they merge together. You see what I'm
Oh,
talking about?
What the This can't be the logic of a grown man. 2 watches on the same arm equal 1 watch. Okay.
You want me to
if
have
you
two?
put the watch on a different hand, would you have two watches on you?
I don't know. If you take a man wig off, then would you be bald headed? I don't know, bro. We all got questions that they ask us. How many shit?
You don't believe that 1 + 1 = 2, but let me know if this makes sense to you and see if we can come to agreement on something. That's what I want to get here, okay? Correct me if I'm wrong. Influence creates thinking, thinking creates behavior. Would you say that that's true?
Makes sense.
Okay, cool. So since we know that and you just confirmed that influence creates thinking and thinking creates behavior, you have your mind frame of how you think. I want to know what influenced you to think this way.
That's a good question. That's a question that everybody need to ask people when they don't have logic. Being a free thinker is taking all the information that you have available to you and trying to make something make sense out of it. Not from somebody just telling you something and you're like, all right, that influenced me, I'm going with that. But just because you're a free thinker does not mean you're going to be right all the time. But from all the information that you gathered all together, you came to this decision. People like the male feminists tend to not gather all the information from everywhere and then have a distinct idea. People like the male feminists have one idea and they only pay attention to things that make their idea seem more true.
Knowing versus belief. Everybody believes in God. I know God. You see what I'm saying? Knowing is being able to have logic, evidence, and reason. You know it, just like your past experiences. I know my mother. My mother was a black woman, and all black women are the manifestation of Mother Nature. I don't give a fuck about a book and what you read, bro. Go to nature and look at it. That is the supreme map of things.
One second, Clarence, I seen that you
don't have to stop me, bro. You don't have to stop me every
someone
fucking
came
30
in the
seconds.
chat. Clarence, I
You
see you
don't
coming
have
in
to
here,
stop
give it
me
2
every 30
seconds.
seconds,
I'll
bro.
add you
30
in after I
seconds?
have this discussion with him.
I get
Once
30
again,
seconds to speak, like every
listen,
single
man,
time.
it's a
Is that what you
podcast,
feel?
and I had
You're
someone trying to
intimidated.
join the live stream.
You're intimidated, bro. That's
No, I
all
had
it
someone
is.
trying
You're
to join the live
intimidated.
stream.
You don't want to know. You do this for content.
Intimidated?
At the end of you're intimidated. It's got to be.
I do
Brought about a
debates with
pregnant
men
male
in
rat.
person. You could come here in person. No one's intimidated, bro. No one's.
You gotta be.
No
It's
one
gotta
feels
be
like
something.
that.
Then
You could
why
have this
won't you let
discussion
me
in
speak
person.
the whole
same way I'm
podcast?
conveying myself with you over here, it'll be
The
in
whole
person. And actually,
podcast,
it'll
bro.
be more intense.
Listen, y'all.
We said that influence creates thinking, thinking creates behavior. You think that the black woman is God. I want to know what influenced you.
Looking for God.
Okay? Explain, elaborate. What did you
God
find
has-
that made you really think that the black woman is God?
My mother
Like
was in my face the whole time. She was in my face the whole time, and I didn't realize
okay.
that was God. The
I
first
have another
deity
question for
that
you,
was
too.
ever worshipped. See, like I said, I get 30 seconds.
Oh, no,
So
you
don't
explained
really
it.
wanna
Now I
do
have
this.
another question for you.
So I'm saying I wasn't done.
Oh,
That's what I'm
you have
saying.
more?
Let me know
Go.
how long I'll get. I mean, you just stopped me. You're going to keep doing it, so go ahead.
I mean, it's
It's
you
okay.
explained
It's
all the way
okay.
down to
Go
how it
ahead,
went.
bro. Go ahead.
Got
Go
it.
ahead, bro.
So,
Go ahead.
and also, I'll just give you the rules of the podcast. So get used to it. So guess what? This is called order, right? Men create order. This is my platform, so there's a hierarchy to things. It's my rules, so if I set the rules and you follow the rules, right? When you have your own podcast and you invite me on, you set the rules and I follow those rules. Life is in hierarchy. So I have a question for you.
So
You
then you
just
don't
said
want-
that
you
the
don't wanna hear it.
matriarchy, I have a question for you. Listen, you
Of course,
just said
you just
that
had a question for me.
you just said that the matriarchy was taken over by the patriarchy. How can
Correct.
if the matriarchy is natural, my question is, if the woman came first and you think the black woman is God, why is it that she's always being taken over by a man? Wouldn't
Who
you
said-
think? You just said that the
Okay,
patriarchy
no,
always
no,
takes
no.
over the
I'll let you
matriarchy.
finish. I'll let you finish so I can speak. Go ahead.
That's my question. You just said that the patriarchy always takes
I know
over
what
the
I said.
matriarchy. How can you say and even think logically that the woman came first if she's not strong enough to defend for herself? Answer it now.
Well, I'll calm down a little bit. Now, let me answer. In regards to the patriarchy taking over the matriarchy, it had nothing to do with strength. You have to understand that's brute strength. So what it was
God
the son
dang.
turned against his mother. The son literally turned against his mother. So instead of being a protector, the son became the predator. And then Christianity and all of these other religions were created to teach men that they were higher than women. How do you think the oppression started, woman? They needed religious context to literally turn your man against you. You can look throughout all the religions
Did you
and you
ever
can
think
see
that the
when you were
woman,
governing.
that the
Him,
man
you
is
shut
just
the
stronger
fuck
than a
up,
woman?
nigga.
People like this just want to talk in circles, and the more they talk, the more you get lost on the actual thing that you're trying to talk about. This is why he's mad that he can't ramble, because if he can't ramble, then he can't lose you in whatever he's trying to say. Nothing actually makes sense. No matriarchy stood the test of time. The way these feminists talk is like everything always had AC, everything was already organized ever since the beginning. If that is true, that means you can go to these tribes and places where they're untouched. There's no Christianity there, there's no Judaism, there's no Islamic faith. It's straight raw nature and natural, and you still won't find a matriarchy, because in order to survive you have to bend nature, and men are better at bending nature. If you're not strong enough to enforce what you believe in, then it could never be enforced unless you get somebody stronger than you to do so. So it would always still have to be ran by men.
Do you
God
ever
damn,
just think
bro.
that the man
This
is
nigga on
just
some
stronger
hoe
than a
shit.
woman
This
and
nigga
more
on some
superior
hoe
than a
shit,
woman?
man. You's a bitch, nigga. On my
Did you ever
mama,
think
you a
that?
bitch. Fuck
Say that
wrong
to
with
my
you, bro.
face, man. You
I
welcome
said
here.
you's
I have
a
you
bitch,
on.
nigga.
I
I
have
don't
you
give
on.
a fuck where you
I
at,
have
nigga.
you
I don't
on,
give
bro.
a fuck. Smash this stuff. So
Actually, here's what
you's
I'll
a
do for
little
you,
bitch,
because
man.
I've been waiting
All
for
you do,
someone like you.
Yeah, I'm right here.
I'll
I'm
send
right
you out
You's
here.
a
I'll send
you
you
talking
out
about,
here, right?
man,
I'll
the
send
fuck
you out
out
here.
What you diddy now?
I'll
You
pay
diddy?
for your ticket to
This
come
nigga
out here,
diddy.
and we can do this debate live in person.
Oh,
And I
whatever.
guarantee you won't have that energy in person. I guarantee you it. I had another man
All right,
talk
man.
crazy just like you, but in person, he wasn't speaking that crazy. It was a entirely different
Bro,
story.
you can tell
It was a
everybody in the
entirely
room can
different
see you
story.
a bitch, man. Everybody in the room can
Okay,
see you a
man.
little hoe, bro. You
How
women
can
still produce us. Can
how
you
can
just chill
men?
for a minute? Can you give me a little bit so I can talk to people to get them to understand where
No,
I'm
no,
coming
no, no,
from?
no,
Can
no,
you
no,
just
no.
be
It ain't
quiet for
going
a
like
second?
that. That isn't how
How
this
does it
goes, bro.
go?
Because you're not
How does it
answering
go? Explain it
questions,
to me.
bro. You're not
I'm
answering
tired of your
questions.
questions. Just let me speak
Listen,
for a
man,
minute,
if
bro.
you
That proves the point of what I was just saying. You don't want to answer questions. You don't want to have logic. You just want to speak, because if you can speak, you can deter people from the road. When you speak in circles, people get dizzy, and they'll forget that you're not making any logical sense. And that's what this man does all day. And when you don't allow him to talk nonsense, he's going to get upset, because now he has to face the facts. And as soon as he faces the facts, it allows him to look stupid. And nobody likes to look stupid. He does exactly what women do, which is just talk in circles and talk emotionally. And if he cannot have an emotional argument, then he has no argument at all, because it has no logic behind it. And there's nothing wrong with praising your mother, but understand you're praising her for the decisions that she made. The reason why you don't have a father and you don't have that figure is because of her decisions.